you're not weird with people crying, because I've said since I left the gym, I feel like I'm going to cry.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, it doesn't make you awkward, does it?
Well, it does a bit, but
Like, I can feel it bubbling. And the only reason is, like, this is a big deal for me.
Okay.
Like, meeting you and, like, I feel like we're going to cry. Because it's been a goal of mine for a long time. Like, I love strongman, and I've followed you, like I said to you in the gym, like, when I watched your deadlift, I did my deadlift, like, a week later, and that's when it started the compound lifts. Like, I know a lot of people probably say to you, you made me start strongman, but you made me actually start doing, like, big lifts and thinking that things are possible.
right,
So
nice.
now I'm, like, freaking out. And I feel like I'm going to cry.
And now we're best friends.
And now we're best friends, and we've got matching t-shirts and everything. So, and that's like something I wanted to touch on with you. Like this, the reason it's such a big deal is because I think deep down I never thought I would get to this stage where I'm getting to do podcasts for you, work with Giants Live and things like that. So, and I still get upset because I don't actually believe I've achieved it. You seem to have like a lot of self-belief.
Yeah.
Would you say that's right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you've got to have a lot of self-belief. You don't believe you're destined for something, and you'll never get there.
Yeah.
So you've got to almost kid yourself.
Yeah.
I think is the best. I've always said that you've got to joke yourself and kid yourself into thinking that you are that person until you become that person.
So how would you, for me, like, obviously I've just grafted and just done like what's needed, but there's always still that self-doubt, which I don't suppose is a bad thing because it has pushed me to like prove myself wrong. But, you know, moving forward, like you said, you need to have that self-belief. Like, what advice would you give me to try and improve my confidence in myself and that I am doing a good job in like self-validation rather than anybody else telling me I'm doing a good job? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. I think sometimes just asking is the best way. You know, I'll do TV shows and series and presenting jobs, and I'll say that any good, any better, anything I can improve on.
Yeah.
You know, and it's literally just asking the questions and then watching yourself back on the screen is also a big one. Watching your mannerisms, your body language.
Yeah.
You know, the way you react to people, the little things, and watching other people as well. I pick up a lot from other presenters.
Yeah.
What they do, how they make people laugh, their mannerisms.
Yeah.
So it's all a big sort of mind fuck, isn't it? Am I doing good? And you're always telling yourself you're not.
Yeah.
But then you just got to sit back and reevaluate. I like to compare myself to other people.
Okay.
In that respect.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm on their level and they're doing good, so am I.
Yeah. So, but, like, there's a certain amount of pressure that comes with like comparing yourself and stuff. Like, I agree. I think comparing can be a very powerful thing, but it can also put a lot of pressure. Like, I am terrible for putting pressure on myself because I just want it to be good. I want to do a good job. Yeah. But it does do me well, but it wastes a lot of my energy. Like, I felt really pressured coming into the gym because I was like, I just want to make a good impression, blah, blah. But then I have to remind myself, like, just be yourself. Like, that's fine. Like, how have you dealt with pressure? Because, like, you've achieved so much.
But pressures, for me, is something I've thrived under. Okay. I've purposely created my own pressure throughout my career. I remember the first time I sort of put the pressure on myself big time, I was 23 years of age. The very first time I'd ever qualified for an international, which was UK's Strongest Man, going against Wales, Scotland, Ireland, whatever, and I flew over to Ireland to compete at UK's Strongest Man. And the week before, I put a status out on Facebook. I cannot wait till next week when I win UK Strongest Man. Never been there before. Didn't even know I was up against. Didn't even know who the athletes were. Didn't even know what the events were. And I put that status up and I was just like, right. And that gets me in the zone.
Okay.
It's the good old saying that pressure creates diamonds.
Yeah.
And I thrive under pressure. look back at my Facebook. So I did my first strongman contest when I was 19 in Blackburn. I think it's like North Manchester way. And I came back in that same. So this is my very first contest. I came fourth out of like 30 guys.
Wow.
And I wrote on Facebook that night, I did my first strongman contest today. Absolutely loved it. I'm going to be world's strongest man one day. Watch this space. And I wrote that on my very first strongman competition. So,
Like you did it, so
yeah. So pressure for me is something that I thrive in, and I think it's important.
yeah,
It's accountability
yeah,
in a way, because you've said it, you've put it out there, and if you don't achieve, because everyone laughed, and I mean this, everyone laughed at me, family members, friends, I'd be working the doors at night. Oh, I'm training for strongman, and they're like, oh yeah, you're going to beat them guys on the TV. Good luck.
yeah,
And you'd hear them laughing as they're walking away, and people in the gym laughing behind my back. I've heard them. I've heard it all, and that's all fuel to the fire as well.
yeah,
So that pressure I put on myself,
yeah,
was laughable.
yeah,
But it's to the point where I'm going to prove you wrong.
yeah,
I love that. I thrive in that.
yeah. And have you always been like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
always.
you're not needed any practice.
No. I was it's quite a well-known fact now, but I was a national champion swimmer
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Right, yeah.
Sort of 10 to 13 years of age, won the national championships, all distances in freestyle. Set British records. I was on the world class potential squad, which is like the junior Olympic team, and I was such an you call it ignorance. It's not ignorance,
Yeah.
but I was so cocky and confident,
Yeah.
and I before I'd even get in the race, and I was so good at mind games. Be chit chatting with the other lads as we're sort of lining up. You've got like 20 people lined up for the next event, and we're chatting away. Oh, what do you think you're going to do? I'm going to thrash the fuck out of all you fuckers. And I'd speak to them like that as an 11-year-old kid, just talk very abrupt. So I just brought up with it, just very cocky.
I love it.
Arrogance is thinking that you're better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Confidence is knowing
Yeah,
you are better than everybody else. And everyone thought I was cocky, I was arrogant. But in actual fact, I was just confident.
Yeah.
I just knew what I was capable of. And that was the same in the strongman.
Yeah.
I knew in my head what I was capable of. So I had no problem saying those things, knowing full well I was going to back up what I said.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, you're right. Like, it comes across as cocky, because I am very confident. I'm a very confident person, but I still have a lot of self-doubt and things like that creep up. But it doesn't necessarily stop me. But sometimes it does come across cocky. And do you think that people judge you on that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hated. And honestly, I was hated. My early strongman days, I mean, you ask a few of the other strongmen, I was so arrogant, so cocky.
Yeah.
I was hated. No one would really talk to me. Didn't have any friends in the strongman community. I remember going on all the forums and sort of battling it back a little bit. And one of the top level strongmen said to me, it's lonely being the way you are, And I said, yeah, it's always lonely at the top.
You're so cool.
And it was just, and I remember saying it, and everyone just went, "Oh, cocky, arrogant," and I just thought, we're not going to respond anymore.
Yeah.
But I'll just leave that there. It's always lonely at the top.
I love that. But I think you have to, you have just got that mentality of a winner. I think you have to, do you?
Yeah.
You have to to, like you said, you have to truly believe it, but it has to be to a point that it does come across a bit cocky, and people are not going to like that, because people don't like confident people. They don't, do they?
They do and they don't, you see.
They love to hate them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but, I mean, I've always been that way. And then you look at people like Conor McGregor, super cocky, super arrogant, but he's backed up his bullshit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's gone in, he's knocked people out, and he's won titles. Yes, he's lost fights. Everyone loses fights. And that's why he's loved.
Yeah.
Because he's been the Muhammad Ali, he's been the showman. Muhammad Ali is a perfect example of being cocky and arrogant, believing you are better than everybody else. And and it takes that confidence into your performance.
Yeah.
I think maybe subconsciously a lot of that was from the Arnold Schwarzeneggers and the Muhammad Ali's. I was, always watching any documentary, any bit of article I could read, and reading about Arnold at a young age, how cocky he was with the bodybuilding, telling people he was going to win the Olympic before he'd even won it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, that's great. You sort of you're putting pressure on, but you're putting your mind in a place where how can you lose?
Yeah. So do you think it's important to be like surrounded by people like that if you want to achieve well, and like in your environment, or following people? Obviously not everybody's got access to people, in their surroundings, but like following people do you think it's important to follow people that inspire you and that do have that mentality, and that it almost gives you a push to be like, well, if he can do it, I can do it, kind of thing?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the Arnold Schwarzeneggers in my life, I wouldn't have never got into lifting weights, and I never would have been the world's strongest man. So I think it's super important. You need the Conor McGregors to get people in the gym and get them believing that they can be the best.
Yeah.
So that's what gets bums off seats and gets people moving, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like Rocky. The Rocky films, they
So
inspire.
good.
Someone who just believed he could go the whole way, and it just inspired so many people to go off and train boxing.
Yeah. Well, like, we're sitting in your home right now, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you for having us here. And the next thing I want to ask you, like, when you look at the things that you've achieved, well, strongest man, your deadlift, but your house and everything you've achieved, do you sit back and are you proud of yourself? Like, do you sit and look, or do you not really think about it?
I do. Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
Because of where I've come from.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I was a poor person growing up, but I definitely wasn't very well off.
Yeah.
And I've seen my mum and dad struggle to put food on the table. I've seen my mum cry at the petrol stations, not being able to fill the car up. And I've seen the turmoil it causes at home, when we haven't holidays for years, and I've seen what it does. And I've seen my dad work 50 hours a week for 50 years, killing himself in a dead-end job and hate his life. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I think about those moments, and it's like I've sort of stepped away from that, and I feel so lucky and so blessed to be able to look back and be very thankful for those moments.
Yeah.
Because if I had a silver spoon fed childhood, I wouldn't have. I think sometimes you got to come from shit to get out of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you need the challenges in life, 100%.
Yeah, and I've seen it, and I've been there, and from where I'm from, Stoke, there's a lot of drugs, a lot of crime, a lot of poverty in Stoke, and I've been there and I've been amongst it, and I think just coming out of that has made me a much better person, much more down to earth, because I'm so grateful for what I've got. Yeah. So grateful.
You are so down to earth, like, obviously, you have that persona when you're competing and stuff, like cocky and things like that, but like, you're not like that in real life, like, at all. No. I don't like. I've watched you. Sounds really creepy, but like when we was doing the team comp, the USA and UK, and you were the last person in signing autographs, the last one. You stayed till the end. You signed everybody's thing. They told you no more photos. You were still giving photos. You were like, getting the photos. And you could tell you were tired. It was a long day, long night. But you stayed there till the end. And I don't think people see enough of that side. And like, even in the gym today, like, people were coming over and speaking to you, and that's a totally different side that I don't think people get to see. So
something I've always said to myself throughout the whole sort of process, because it's not like, for me, it wasn't like I won Big Brother overnight and automatically became a sensation or a popular person. It's something that's come gradually. I won England's, then UK's, and then I qualified for Worlds, and then I won Britain's, and I won Britain's 5 years in a row, UK 6 years in a row. So those monumental moments have just built this attention. Yeah. and it's come on very gradually. And I think something I've always said to myself, and I've always said it to my wife and kids, is like, no matter who you are, or what you do, or how much money in the bank, or what you've got around you, or whatever, everybody, every single person has to sit down and take a shit like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say that. And when people say, "Oh, you're lucky, you're blessed," or I have to sit down and take a shit just like you.
Yeah.
I'm no different to anybody, and that's something I try and relate to myself. Like I don't now never look down at anyone. If someone's got problems and the meet and greets, I do them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel for those people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because every person that I meet, some people you meet and you see a lot of hurt in their eyes, and you see a lot of pain and turmoil, and you can see it. You can see it in them. So it's nice to give them a little special moment of,
Happiness.
hey, we're on the same level.
Yeah.
I'm Eddie Hall, you're whoever. It's just nice to have these little moments with people.
And how does that make you feel that, like, you bring happiness and inspire people? Like I'm getting tearful thinking about it, honestly. I'm terrible today. But how does that make you feel, like, that you inspire people? Because I know so many people from having the gym that just love you and love everything you've achieved, and they just think, just in awe of you. Like, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it feels good. I mean, that's nice. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger was my inspiration.
Yeah.
To get into bodybuilding and I'm getting into acting now because of Arnold. It's something I'm sort of following. And the things I've done are not better or not even, but they're different. Mm-hmm. I've made people believe that certain things that thought were impossible are now possible, like the 500 kilo deadlift. And that lift and the attention that brought and how that's transformed my life is quite, it's a story,
Yeah.
It's a Rocky story.
Yeah.
It's a guy from Stoke that's had nothing, that's grown up and worked his little bollocks off and made a life for himself through hard work.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people see. It's not, nothing's been handed, it's through sheer hard work. And that's got to inspire people.
Yeah. Did you ever have any doubt in your mind that you wouldn't get the 500?
Yeah, well, loads of doubts.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I mean, I said I was going to pull the 500 kilo for in 2015, and the world record at the time was 462 kilos. Yeah, that's right. No, 463, because I broke the world record that day at 463. And I just said to myself, I need to do something different, because every strongman was just doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Every single competition, just breaking a world record by a kilo, or winning Europe's, or winning Britain's, and whatever else. And I just thought, even winning the world's strongest man, it's just getting a bit fucking boring. Mm-hmm. I want to do something different. So the 500 came into my head, and it came into my head because I wanted to do something extraordinary. I wanted to put something in the history books, but also in a little selfish moment for myself, is that I wanted to put some money in the bank to win the world's strongest man, and that was my way out. It was like my lottery ticket in a way. It was a gamble. So that's why I sort of put the stamp on it, and I actually said it to the crowd in 2015, and you got an alright reaction, but afterwards, geez, the negativity that came my way was fucking surreal.
Yeah.
Like other strongmen saying it couldn't be done, going on, you go on the forums, you see all the other strongmen there, it's not going to happen, they're ridiculous. The strongman promoters didn't believe it could be done. And you went on social media, and easily 99.9% of the following were just like, you're fucking deluded, like, you're never going to happen, blah, blah. So the negativity around it was just beyond belief, like. And that's something really hard to come when everybody around you is saying, like, you're being an idiot, you're being stupid. It was hard to sort of break through and just be like, you know what, fuck you. Can be done. I'm going to fucking prove you wrong.
Yeah.
So that was a really hard barrier
to break.
Yeah. Very, very hard, and a lot of doubt because of all the negativity around me more than anything. If everyone had been like, yes, let's fully support, I think it would have been a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah.
I really do. It's I like the story of Roger Bannister, the first man to run a mile in under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was exactly the same. Everybody said it was impossible.
Yeah.
Everyone called him a dickhead. Everyone said he was an idiot. And then he ran 4 minutes. He ran a mile in 4 minutes, and then within a year, 12 other people had done it.
Yeah.
Because they believed. And it's like the 500 kilo now. I pulled it in 2016, and Thor's pulled 501 in his home gym.
Yeah.
But now it's like common talk.
Yeah.
It's like it's common talk. It's like, oh, he's going to break it now. Oh, Mitchell's going to get it, or Hicks is going to get it, or he's going to get it. It's I made people believe.
You've made it possible.
Yeah. But before, if I hadn't done that 500 kilo, it wouldn't even be a conversation.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be fucking mentioned because the deadlift world record was broken by a kilo every year for the last 40 years. It got up a kilo every year.
40 years.
Yeah, you look back on the records, it'd be broken like 1 kilo, 2 kilo, maybe 3, maybe 5 if it was, someone got the bollocks out one day. But it went up a kilo every year for like 40 years. And then I came along and broke it by 37 kilos in one day. So I did 37 years of record breaking in one day.
Fuck, I've got goosebumps. That's insane.
And that's why people said it couldn't be done, because it was just such an out there thing to say, not only in the strongman world, but in the world in general.
But everything is impossible till it's done, isn't it? Everybody thinks things are impossible, and it's done. And then, like you said, gives people that confidence that, God, if he can do it,
exactly,
then I can do it.
Yeah, it's like opening the floodgates.
Even I thought. When I seen it, I was like, maybe I could do. Then I realised that that's not humanly possible for a small woman like me. But hey, maybe it is. Who knows? So with that negativity you were getting then, obviously you said that was really hard to break. When you were training and you were getting nearer the time, obviously things were getting heavy and you were getting tired. Did that negativity that you were getting from other people, did that creep back in? How did you fight that off in your sessions?
I think it was just me and my training partner who believed. And we just put a plan in place, what we need to do, where we need to be at certain points, and we just got on with it.
Yeah.
And we just ignored it. We both had to have thick skin.
Yeah.
And Luke had come to me and said, oh, I've been speaking to such and such. He says you're not going to do it. And I'm like, yeah, good. I'm glad he's fucking said that.
Wrong as well.
Yeah. In fact, it got to the point where I was like, I'm glad they're saying I can't do it. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because when I do it, it'll be a nice big fuck you when I do. And it was such a nice. For me,
nice fuck you.
Yeah, it was. It was nice. It was. I can't tell you how good a feeling that was to prove all those people wrong. That it could be done. It was such a nice feeling and that was just through sheer pig-headedness of like, I'm going to do this just to prove you fuckers wrong now.
Yeah.
So.
But really, I mean, I've watched several videos of leading up to that, deadlift and when you'd done it and literally people are very open about the fact that they did not think you would do it. They're like, there's no way in hell we thought he was going to do it.
Yeah.
And when you did it, it didn't even look that hard.
No.
Like, did it feel hard?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, I don't remember.
Just
pulled it. And
adrenaline
woke
took
up
over.
At the top, yeah. There was, I mean, there was more kilos in there, definitely. You could have
definitely.
You could have put another 5-10 kilo on there, it would have gone up.
Yeah. 500 was nice. That's a nice number, isn't it?
This is what I'm trying to say to people, because people, after the 500, you're going to come back and do 501, 502, why? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, tell me who the second man on the moon was. Do you know?
Oh, absolutely not.
Exactly my point.
Yeah. Even people that don't follow strong. Yeah. Even people that don't follow strongman. Like if I speak about you and they're like, "Oh, who's that?" and I'm like, "The guy that did 500." Oh yeah, I know him. I know him. So yeah, it's just incredible what we are capable of if we just believe in ourselves, really. And I know you've got to do the work, and like you said, you've got to put in a plan, and it's not just believe, achieve, and all that crap, right? But if you don't believe you can do it, then that is wasting a lot of energy.
You got no chance. If you don't think you can do it, then you might as well not bother. You've got to believe. Yeah, you've got to believe you can do it.
And did you? I know, obviously, you 100% believed you could do it in that moment, but after it, were you like, "Fuck"?
Yeah, it was.
Fuck. Yeah. That actually happened.
It was nice. It was nice just to be like, fuck me, I've done it. It was very, very emotional for me.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine with all that negativity and hate towards you, to finally actually be like, I did it.
Yeah. No, it was, I don't know the right word to describe it, but... I
don't think there is a word really, for that feeling.
It's a tough one to sort of describe how I felt.
Does it make you emotional thinking about it?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd say it was just something that I knew was going to change my life, and that for me was just such. I'd say as soon as I woke up at the top of the lift, I was like, "Fuck, this is going to change my life forever." Yeah, and it did. You know, it's opened so many pathways. Fuck World's Strongest Man. I mean, of course, winning that's been amazing, and of course, that's opened doors. Yeah. But I think the 500 kilo deadlift is what. So it's going to sound daft saying this, but like in some ways, the 500 kilo deadlift was more important to me as a businessman and relaying my legacy than the World's Strongest Man. Like the World's Strongest Man is here, and the 500 kilo deadlift just went bang and just smashed past it and is up there. You know, it's like cementing everything I wanted out of the sport. That's what cemented it. The 500 kilo deadlift. Yeah,
absolutely incredible. Anytime I watch that video, I get emotional as well. I get more emotional because I'm watching Alexandra watch you, and I'm like, oh, I can only imagine how she felt. Like watching you, and then obviously you passed out and your heart rate was very high, and it was a bit very scary. Yeah. Like, were you scared in that moment for yourself, or?
I was. Yeah. Afterwards, I was, but I just, it was a mixed emotion because I didn't really care. It was just I feel like a completed life. Like no, I just didn't really care. But it was scary. I think like. One thing that, and I've said this before, is like it's the aftermath of these kind of events, like winning the World's Strongest Man and pulling the 500 kilo deadlift. It's the aftermath that's hard for us guys. It's like you've got this huge sense of euphoria. The serotonine's are all floating around your head, and you just feel on cloud nine. You're walking on water. You feel that good. And then the next day, I think the day after the 500 kilo deadlift, I'm like wiping shit off my little boy's arse after his birthday party,
Yeah.
It's like, and then you're doing the dishes, and it's like straight back down to reality, and that's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's like you can almost compare it to like a heroin addict. You get that hit, you get that amazing rush, and you get this like the best feeling in the world. And then you're always trying to get, that's why people get addicted. You're always trying to sort of get that same
feeling again,
and you never get it. Yeah. And that's why people get hooked on it. And I guess that's why I got hooked on,
achieving
the World's Strongest Man or whatever. It was like trying to get that same feeling again.
Yeah. I get that because even like after this weekend, I'll go home, I'll be like, normal life, like when am I away next time? Yeah. Because like this for me is like how my adrenaline goes high. Like I like competing and stuff like that, but being involved and trying to grow the sport and getting to meet you and train with you and learn and take it back to my clients. But when I get home, I'm like, obviously I love my life. I've got a great life from kids and everything in my gym, but it's like, I want that excitement feeling again. So I can only imagine how you felt after that like pinnacle. I want to go back to like speaking about challenge. Like it's really important to experience challenge, failure, things like that. And like the biggest challenge I've had in my life was when I split up with my husband. I was with him for 15 years from when I was 16, so I didn't know anything
Wow, yeah.
else. And then he decided no longer what to be with me. And lucky enough, I was surrounded by the right people who helped me get out of my depression and things. And I truly believe without that happening, in fact, not even believe, I know for a fact I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have stayed where I was, doing my own thing. But that just, I think I had like the approach of, I'll fucking show you to start with. I'm kind of over that now because I don't need that. But I was like, how dare you leave me? I'll show you. And that pushed me. And I think that people do need that. But there's two ways you can go with challenge. You can, use it as fuel, like you said, and be like, okay, how can I make this better for myself? How can I achieve what do I want? Or you can, stay depressed. And, I got to the point where I didn't even want to be here anymore. So there was two options. What people listening, there's going to be people listening to this that are going through challenge right now. What can you tell them?
I always tell a story of how I learned to swim. And my mum was a swimming teacher, and we're on holiday in Portugal. And I kept running and jumping in the swimming pool. I was only like 1.5 years old, couldn't swim. And someone would come in and fish me out, and I'd break free, jump back in. Must have done this 1,000 times. And on the 1,000th time, everyone sat there, and I've jumped in, and they've all gone, you know what, fuck him, let him drown. And apparently my mum said to me, sink or swim. Like, I'm just done with this, fucking sink or swim. And I swam. Got to the side, got out, jumped back in, and that's all I learned to swim.
Yeah.
Just through sheer, like, being told to fuck off, deal with yourself and get on with it.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what life is about. You do two things, you sink and drown. And think the world's against you and think everyone's hurting you and it's everyone else's fault, or you swim and you realise the world's not against you. You make your own path, you make your own power, you make your own choices, and you can get up and make changes, and you can drive your life in whatever direction you want. So it's the sink or swim scenario. And whenever I come across challenges in life, I always think of that moment when my mum left me in the pool. And, you've got to make a choice.
Live or die.
Live or die, basically.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I've had some horrible sink moments, even in my adulthood. It's been bad. But I think, you've got to decide what you want out of life, and I think sometimes, like you say, I think sometimes everything happens for a reason. I always believe in that.
I agree.
So I think the quicker you can get comfortable with that thought process, the better your life will be.
Yeah.
Like if someone leaves you, hurts you, whatever, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Don't fight it. Get on with it.
Yeah.
And move on. And I guess that's pretty much the only advice I've got, really, is you've got to, when you're in those dark, deep, horrible rabbit holes and you're thinking the world's against you, you've got to make a plan quick and fucking get back on your feet and get back to it and start swimming again.
Yeah. No, and I think as well, like, that it's great advice, because when I was struggling, I joined a guy called Paul Moore. I'm not sure if you know who that is, but he teaches people mindset, things like that.
Right.
He's a life coach, although I hate saying that because he's so much more than that. But I joined him. I'd been watching him on social media, and I cried for like every call that we had. And then eventually, once he kind of got to know me, he just was like, "What are you going to do about it?" And he just said, "No one's coming to save you. What the fuck do you want?" And I was like, he's right. There's nobody coming, so you have to make the choice. Like, you can stay here and play the victim, like you said, feel sorry for yourself, or get up and choose what you want. Like, yes, everything happens for a reason, but you have choices.
Yeah.
And I think, like, that's brutal. But if he didn't say that to me, I probably would have continued to cry and feel sorry for myself, and probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Because I would have gotten so low that I probably would have killed myself.
And it's easy done.
Yeah.
It's easy done. It's easy to go down that dark horrible rabbit hole, and once you're so far down it,
It's so tough
it's
to get
fucking
out.
tough. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to get out of it.
And it's just about taking that one step to something better, and then you feel, okay, I've achieved that, and it's just gradual, is it?
Yeah.
It's gradual. So, what's been your biggest challenge in your life?
Oh, geez, I've had
What's
so
your
many.
biggest challenge would you think that really stands out?
I think that the life after winning World's Strongest Man has been my biggest challenge,
Okay.
because it's like I said, that crash after. Everyone thinks you're on cloud nine. Everyone thinks life's perfect. You've just won the World's Strongest Man. You know, you've got lots of money in the bank, loads of opportunities. But it's the complete opposite, because everything is just your whole world's gone. I worked my entire life for that title, and when I won it, it almost felt like I jinxed myself. Like I felt like I tarnished my life. I was like, "Fuck, what do I do now?" I just felt empty.
Yeah.
And yeah, those months after winning the World's Strongest Man were very tough, very dark, just didn't know what to do with myself. And then you just have these like little moments of little breakthroughs. These little opportunities come. As I say, everything happens for a reason. And then I started doing TV shows, and then I started traveling the world doing Eddie Eats America, and then the YouTube picked up, and all these different avenues that were just fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just love what I do.
Yeah.
And just having that faith of keeping my head down and keep moving forward through that period was probably one of the hardest challenges in my life.
Yeah.
Because I guess one of the easiest things would be go, actually, I'm not retired. I'm going to win another title, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. And that would have been easy. That would have been the easy choice.
The easier choice.
It would have been the easier choice.
Yeah.
To stay in strongman.
Yeah.
And do more titles and do whatever else. So that was really hard for me to walk away from strongman. Very, very hard, because that was my life.
Yeah.
From the age of 15, I've been lifting weights.
Wow.
You know, that was my life. So.
Like, you were strongman.
Yeah.
You didn't really know who you are without it? No. That's tough.
I was Eddie the Strongman, that was it. You know, I had no friends. I had a very small family. Mm-hmm. It was just me and my wife and kids, and it was like, right, retired now, what do we do?
Yeah, that is hard, and like you said, like, if you've not got many friends around you, and like obviously you had your family and things, but like sometimes we can not think about that, and then we're like, who am I? Because I was like that again, like when my husband left, I did everything with my husband, everything.
Yeah.
But he was in charge of everything. I didn't know how to pay bills. I didn't like nothing. I was like, I don't even know who I am without him. I met him when I was 16. So I was just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who I am. I don't know what, like, it was always Nicola and my husband. I was never just Nicola.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, shit. What do I do now? So I can totally relate to that. It's so difficult. Why did you decide not to go back? What was, because you won it. Did you decide that you were just going to win it once and you were going to be happy? Or what was the decision making for that?
I mean, in the later years, sort of like because I went pro in 2015. And that 2-year period from 15 to 17 was just hell on earth for everyone.
Yeah.
I was obsessed. Like every living, waking moment was strongman. Every living, waking moment I had food or drink in my hand, just consuming, just getting bigger. I had no time whatsoever with my wife and kids, and I mean zero. Like for 2 years. I was lucky if I saw my wife and kids for an hour a week, and that's been serious. I was just obsessed.
Yeah.
And it was probably about 5 weeks before the World's Strongest Man. I mean, I kept saying to my wife I'd win it because I could see the stress and the strain it was putting on me, my kids, the marriage. So it got to the point where I just had to keep my wife happy and present. I had to keep saying, look, when I win it, I'll quit. Like, I'm going to be present then. I'm going to be a husband. I'm going to be a father again. So I kept saying this and kept saying this and kept saying this. Obviously, 15 didn't win. 16 broke my hand and didn't win. And then 5 weeks before World's Strongest Man 2017, my wife just packed her bags and left. And I was just like, what the fuck? And we were arguing and rowing and whatever else. And I just, at one point, I just said, right, just shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Just let me say something. And I said, give me 5 more weeks. Let me go. Sorry, bruh.
Let's take your time.
So it ends up a lot of emotion.
No, that's okay.
Fucking tired as well.
Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, so I basically said, let me go and win the World's Strongest Man. And then I'll be back. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I'll be back, I'll be present, I'll be a husband again, I'll be a father again. And we sort of, I'm going to say this symbolically now, but we sort of shook hands on that agreement. And off she went and off I went. And that was... That was it, that was shit or bust. Win World's Strongest Man or me, marriage is over, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot. It was, sorry.
That's okay.
There was a lot riding on that title.
Yeah.
A lot. Because if I didn't win, I probably would have carried on.
Yeah.
And then I think that would have been the end of my marriage. I would have probably lost my kids, the relationship.
Yeah.
And it probably would have been the death of me as well. Because I was just pushing those limits so hard. So yeah, that was a tough period in my life. That was.
Yeah.
Really tough.
I can't even imagine how that was for both of you, but you did it. And the best thing out of that story, you're making me cry. I've been almost crying this whole time. Is that you did what you said you were going to do. You could have won it and then been like, okay, well, I'm going to do it again. For how competitive you are and how much that meant to you, and like you said, you kind of lost your identity after that.
Yeah.
Like you said, it would have been easier, but you didn't. And, you stuck to your word. And now look, amazing.
Yeah, I think at some points in your life you gotta sit back and realise what you've got and what I've got around me, and fuck the money, fuck the material things, fuck the tank and all that shine. It's family.
Yep.
That's what's important.
It's hard to forget that sometimes, though.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember that, sorry.
Yeah, no, it is. And then after winning the World's Strongest Man, it was like, right, I've got to make them priority now,
Yeah.
which was still tough because, you know, I hadn't made me millions, and it was like, right, I've got to go and bugger off and do TV shows and whatever else. So it was, again, it was hard, but at least I was seeing and spending time with my wife and kids. Now it's great. You know, I've got myself in a position where, you know, I can get up and spend. I mean, for the last 6 months, I've just been home.
Amazing.
You know, just doing YouTube and stuff and picking my son up from school every day and training with him at the gym and spending time with my wife. Although I definitely spend more time with her. You know, but again, you got to. It's all about juggle life. Is you've got to prioritize. You should always prioritize your family. And then work second, and sometimes that balance between work and family for me can get
it's hard,
very muddled. Yeah, very very hard at times, and so I'm still trying to find that balance. If I'm being honest,
it's hard though because you're working so hard for your family, but in that time you're sacrificing your family, even though you're doing it for them.
Yeah,
because it wasn't long ago. Like I did a lot of traveling for emceeing and that for free because like you have to do things like that for nothing to get out there.
Yeah.
And my daughter's older, so she was aware of this, that I wasn't getting paid, and then obviously started working with Giants Live, and very lucky I get paid for that now. And she really struggled with this.
Yeah.
And she's like, got to the point where she said she was just going to go and stay with her dad. And like as a mum,
Yeah.
that was horrendous. And she's like, but you're always away. And like she wasn't used to this, me being away, because I was always home. And I was like, yeah, but it's for you guys. But I was focused just so much on achieving this. And yes, it was for them in the long run, and I kind of forgot that that's not really important. Like it is to get where I want to be for them. Mm-hmm. But if I can't set a time aside, like if I'm saying, oh, I don't have time to come watch your football, but I've time to go and travel for Giants Live.
Yeah.
Then you need to question yourself, and it's so hard to accept that and actually be like, take responsibility and be like, okay, I need to look at this and take a step back and prioritize them. But I totally get it. Like I still struggle with the work, parent, gotta be your partner. Like it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
It never gets easier.
Oh, Eddie.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It never gets easier.
And when you like your work as well.
I like my work because I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
You know, I do what the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I've got so many different businesses that are just mine, and you know, I've got marketing guys that, why don't we do this? No. I'll do the marketing. Like I'll run my business.
Yeah.
I'll get the viewers in. I'll get the money in. You know, and that to me is the biggest blessing I've had in life, is just being able to do what the fuck I want every day and get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, that's been the biggest reward for me. And having this time around that of spending time with my son. I train with my son at least twice a week. When 2 years ago, I was training with him 4 times a week for a year and a half, and then I took this fight contract. So yeah, that's just been literally one of wife's most precious things, is that having that time, you know, picking my son up from school, going to the gym.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, it's been amazing.
It's the little things that we take for granted, but it is hard to, when you want to achieve and you want to be better all the time, and you are doing it for your family. It's hard to remember that it is the little things that matter.
Yeah. And now I'm in this position, I realise what damage I have done, or what damage could have progressed on had I not made the decision to walk away from Strongman. So
I think
everything happens for a reason.
It does. The best advice that somebody ever gave me when I was struggling with this work-life balance, as I still do, as you said, it's really difficult, is my friend told me, and I said about, I don't spend enough time with the kids, blah, blah. And she's like a child psychologist, and she said, look, it's not about quantity of time with your child, but quality time. And I just was like blown away, because she's like, you could be with your child all day, every day, but not spend quality time with them.
Yeah.
She's like, but the little time you do have with them, if you are completely engaged and present with them, that's what they'll remember. Not that you were there all the time, but that you were fully present in those moments. And I'm like, that's so true. So now, if I'm away, that's my work.
Yeah.
But when I'm home, I'm like, phone goes away. I don't care about social media. Clients can wait. What do you guys want to do? And I'm totally present. And since I've done that, it's a game, and they don't care now. They love it when I go away. They're so proud of me, and they don't hate me anymore for it. Because they know that I'm so present when I'm home now.
That's nice.
So that was one bit of advice that somebody said to me. It is quality over quantity all the time, and I was like, that's so true.
Yeah, that's really nice.
That is
one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given. Was one of my original training partners when I was about 15. And he said, don't ever put your winky where you wouldn't put your tongue.
Okay.
And I thought that was, sorry to change the subject.
No, it's okay.
But that resonated with me for the rest of my life. So, there you go.
So yeah, okay. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So, achievements. You've had a lot. I'm going to finish off on this. Biggest achievement professionally, biggest achievement personally.
Oh, God. Biggest achievement professionally would be the 500 kilo deadlift.
Yeah, I thought you would say that.
Without a doubt. Personally, I think being a dad.
Yeah.
Is probably my best personal achievement. Got 2 kids that live with me that I absolutely adore to the end of the earth. And that to me has been the best achievement in life.
Yeah.
By far.
It is, you can't beat it, can you?
No,
being
you
a
can't.
parent.
You know, and some people would say, what about money in the bank or your house or whatever else? And honestly, you'd fuck it all off in a flash.
Definitely.
For your family.
Yeah.
You would.
Well, because all these things is nothing without them.
Mm-hmm.
You could have the biggest house, the fanciest car, the most money, but that can be very lonely if you've not got people to share it with, like people that you really, truly love.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of friends that are very rich and they are very miserable.
Yeah.
Really are, because they haven't got a family.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
Definitely.
So,
amazing. Well, Eddie Hall, that was emotional. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Honestly, I want you to know how much this has meant to me to spend the day with you today.
Oh, thank you.
I've looked up to you for such a long time, and yeah, that was amazing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you, best friend.
Thank you.
That's amazing.